Rachel Baribeau here with Sunday Soul Season 2. I am so pumped. And Season 2 looks a little bit different. We've got all the bells and whistles on Season 2 that we did not have on Season 1. Thanks so much to our creative team, Helen and Emma. We have really upped the ante on Season 2. And some of the other things we're going to do on Season 2 is an episode like this, where you're not going to see a guest. We're going to talk a little bit. I'm going to read something from you because this is interactive. We're going to do a giveaway. I'm even going to tell you some of my favorite things that I'm using, I'm doing, some of the things that make my life great on a daily basis. All right. So welcome to Season 2 Sunday Soul. We have had an amazing lineup so far. Robert Randolph, the 97th best guitar player in the world. He told stories of B.B. King and Greg Allman and what the music scene will be like when it comes back, and health and wellness and all of those things. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you got to go check that out on my YouTube. You can find it on my Instagram, my Facebook, my Twitter. And what we talk about all the time is that this is interactive, right? So we want you to comment, to share, to like. I say this all the time, and I went on a rant about it last week on Facebook, a loving rant, right? A sassy rant. We are friends with people. Let's just take Facebook as an example. We're friends with people on Facebook. And sometimes we claim to be friends with people that we know in real life, yet we never comment on their stuff. We never like their stuff. We never share it. And that is just foreign to me. Like, if you are friends with somebody, now Twitter's a different medium or Instagram's a different medium. Let's just use, again, we're using Facebook. If you're friends with somebody, it takes nothing for you to drop an encouraging comment. It takes 2 boop, 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 like seconds to hit the share button on something. And you never know what you hitting that share button will do for somebody. Literally. Like, you don't know if that will end up resulting in them getting a job, their kid getting in college, getting into a sorority, a deal. You never know what that could do, and especially at this time of year. So whether it's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever it may be, to hit the share button, to comment, really may make somebody's day. You have so much power. Just want to remind you, you have so much power in this little finger right here, whichever finger it is you use, or you're a thumb person, you've got so much power. So happy Thanksgiving. You have likely eaten all the turkey, and you have taken all the naps. And I don't know what your favorite food is. For me, every year I make deviled eggs and hash brown casserole, and it is my bomb.com meal. It's so good, as a matter of fact, that I only make it twice a year at Christmas and Thanksgiving. Otherwise, we'd have some major health problems, because I would eat it all day, every day, and you don't want to know everything that goes into it. One of the things I talked about at the beginning of this episode of Sunday Soul is you being interactive. I could not do this without you. You are amazing. I'm going to probably cry. I cry every day. My grandmother calls them happy tears. So I just want to say thank you this Thanksgiving. And I want to start out my Thanksgiving gratitude, right? And I've had gratitude so much this year. I want to start it out by reading you a letter that I got recently. I send out a newsletter, and we'll drop the link afterwards, so you can make sure that you stay in touch with everything we're doing with I'm Changing the Narrative. But I got this letter the other day, and you just imagine getting this letter. I'm going to read it to you. Dearest Rachel, first of all, anytime somebody calls you dearest, I'm a pet name person. So honey, baby, sweetie, love bug, sugar. And I know not everybody's like that, but if we were all the same, it'd be a boring world. I love pet names. So anytime you start the letter with dearest, it's pretty sweet already. I first came to know you, I told you I was going to cry, through the article in the Epoch Times, and was so impressed with your wonderful ideas and your optimism. I am a great grandma. And also, anytime you get a letter from a great grandma, you're going to cry. And I think this beautiful program that you have started is needed so badly right now, right here in these trying times. Everywhere I look, I see despairing young people, some of the people I love more than anything in this world. But I am one person, an elderly, I guess. I have told several of my loved ones about your I'm Changing the Narrative program, but do not know where to go from here. What can I do to get more information about helping my near and dear ones and others? Do you have handouts or information that a single person such as I can use to help alleviate some of the pain of our young ones? Mine and so many others. I have grandchildren 35 to 18 and great grandchildren 13 to newborn in America, Germany, and I am a Christian person, a widow, not much into sports, and there are so many needs, so great everywhere. I feel overwhelmed. But when I look at your sweet smiling face and just saw your YouTube and hear your loving, encouraging words of hope, it gives me peace. And I continue to pray and read God's word. I start to hope again for our future and our land and our beloved children. Thank you, dear Rachel, for what you are doing. You are needed so badly. Thank you for reaching out and letting me see more of your blessed outreach. May God continue to bless you, your loved ones, and your helpers. Love, Molly. Okay, so that's pretty amazing. And it's just an example of the text, emails, messages I get on a daily basis. And I say this all the time. And my Emma knows this on my team, lead creative, that I call it my go juice. It's the reason why I do what I do, to know that there's a great grandma somewhere in Texas that saw my article and was totally touched by what we're doing. Which, by the way, leads me to this. I'm going to send her a swag bag. I have some swag of some of our old designs and our clothes and our apparel, which you better watch out, because very soon I'm going to be going live, and we're going to be getting rid of these for a very, very nominal donation to I'm Changing the Narrative. We're going to be getting rid of and moving some shirts, hats, stickers, different things like that. So you definitely want to stay tuned. And we have new merch coming soon. We are so excited. We're about to add it to the I'm Changing the Narrative website. That's I am changing the narrative.org. So you'll be able to get that swag and be able to wear it in your communities and have people ask you about being a king or queen or being royal. Which again leads me to this whole spirit and what this whole show is about. And that is thankfulness. That is gratitude. And I saw one of my friends, her name is Laura Bannon, and she is a meteorologist here in Nashville, and I CrossFit with her. And she posted this the other day, actually today, and she said, I thought 2020 would be the year that I got everything I wanted. Now I know that 2020 is the year that I appreciate everything that I have. So wherever you are watching this, wherever you are consuming this, I want to tell you you're alive for a purpose. I want to tell you you made it for a purpose. And I also want to tell you a quick little story about I'm Changing the Narrative. We've been doing this for 4 years now. We started in August of 2016. And it's been nothing short of miraculous, a tiny little idea and an audacious idea that I believed I could change the narrative. I believed that I could teach people to take the headlines back for good. I believed I could teach people about finding what sets your soul on fire and running towards it with everything you got. And then it morphed into interpersonal relationships. And then it morphed into being a king or a queen and being royal. And then it morphed into self-care and mental health. And it encompasses so much now. And now it's just not athletes, it's law enforcement and border patrol and corporations and churches and everyday people, right? As a matter of fact, by the time this comes out, my e-course will have dropped. And from until Cyber Monday, it will be buy one, get one free, just because I want everybody to be able to consume this e-course that I put out called The Blueprint. And so we'll link more information on that as well. So I want to tell you this story about I'm Changing the Narrative in the pandemic and what has made me so incredibly grateful in year 2020. And especially given that quote from my friend Laura Bannon, who talked about, this is the year that a lot of us, we had the 2020 planner, 2020 is going to be my year. It's going to be so freaking awesome. And we didn't get what we wanted, as the quote said, but we realized what we were grateful for. And I was just saying this the other night to a number of people, some women that I coach, and I was telling them, this year is really the year where we realize what matters. And it's not things. It's people and family and friends and together time. We realize, God, I'm gonna cry this whole show. We realize how much hugs matter and laughter matters and relationships matter, and how much it is time to drop off funky junk, as we call it in the movement: anger, unforgiveness, bitterness, trauma, self-loathing, hatred, all of it. Drop it off. It's time. So at the beginning of the pandemic, we had an amazing April planned. We had just last fall hosted the first ever mental health game between Minnesota and Maryland. First national Big Ten game surrounding mental health, both teams. PSA, my amazing lead creative, Emma, created the video. We had shirts and helmet stickers and did a ton of media. Everybody in that stadium got a free program that had resources to be able to get help. Talk about ending the stigma. So we had an amazing fall. Roll into 2020, as we all thought was going to be an amazing year. And April was really the year for me and this movement to get back on track. You see, if you're just joining us for the first time, I lost my mom last May, in May of 2019. On May 1st, she died in my arms from cancer. And that year, that 10 months prior that she was battling cancer, I pushed changing the narrative, but I didn't push it. I spent time with her. I made sure I had no regrets. We took the trips, we danced, we did everything that we wanted to do. And we said everything we needed to say. And so you got to understand the backstory. And that's why I wanted to tell you how big April was for me in this movement, because it was the first month, and I'm going to cry all my makeup off. It was the first month that we really, really were going to get back on track. I was going to be all over the country, literally from El Paso to Washington to the East Coast. I mean, it was just unreal. And as the pandemic started, I watched my speaking engagements in April go boop, 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 cancel, 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 cancel. And I had what I call a come to Jesus moment, where I watched everything that I worked for 4 years go up in smoke. Like most people, like a lot of people during this pandemic, right? I wasn't alone. And I had to have a real get quiet moment and really contemplate moment. And then, and it took me a couple of days. Do I want to quit? Do I want to throw in the towel? I can't speak in front of audiences. What am I going to do? Right? Like if I can't speak in front of audiences. And so I wallowed in it. Like we all do, because it's okay not to be okay. I wallowed in it for a couple of days, and then I decided to pull myself up by my bootstraps, and I decided to fight. And I became the best dang Zoom speaker there ever was, which, by the way, you got to be even more enthusiastic and energetic and passionate on Zoom to keep people awake, as we all know, by the way. And so I want you to know that this pandemic backed me into a corner, backed my team into a corner, and we came out fighting, and we came out more grateful, and we came out more thankful. And I recognized in that moment, do people need me? Do people need what I'm teaching? Absolutely. Is mental health even more at the forefront now, with suicide rates up and relapse rates and depression and anxiety? And now we've got this thing coming and it's right here upon us, where nobody's ever seen before, and that's seasonal mental health facing pandemic mental health, right? Of either being with people that you don't want to be with, or being alone and not being able to travel for the holidays, which is me, right? And a lot of us. And so I just really today, on this Thanksgiving weekend, want to tell you how grateful I am for you. And I want to tell you to focus on what you have in your life. And if you need somebody and you feel alone, we have resources for you to be able to talk to somebody. I got a lot of people, including myself, that want to be your friend. You are not alone in this world. You are valuable. You matter. You are amazing. I like to tell people all the time, you're a miracle, whatever it is you believe. I believe in God, but whatever it is you believe out there, because we're inclusive. Whoever created you, created one of you. There is one of you in the entire planet, and no one can accomplish the exact thing that you were put on this earth to accomplish. So if you're feeling down and blue, if you're feeling alone, if you're feeling feeling bad around people that don't get you or make you feel less than, or ask you why you're not in a relationship, or ask you why you're still with that person, or just make you feel bad about yourself, we want you to know here at I'm Changing the Narrative that we love you. and you're valuable and you matter. And so this year, I'd really love for you to think about this, the things that you are grateful for. Man, I've always been grateful for clean sheets and a bed and a roof over my head. But now more than ever, I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for a can of soup. I'm grateful for every meal that I eat. I'm grateful for every email that I get. I'm grateful for every tweet and the love that I receive, right? And the unconditional support that I receive. I'm grateful, really big this year, that I have an army of women that have surrounded me of all ages that have been shades of my mother. No one is going to replace my mom, and I miss her really badly. But I'm grateful that I have a lot of people that have decided to surround me and love me. And so I, this year, just want you to think about those things that aren't things, that aren't tangible, right? And yeah, we're talking about being thankful for beds and roofs over our heads, but also the relationships and the people around you. Who can you call today? Who can you text today? Who can you love on today? So that is what I want to leave with you today on this season, this episode 3 of season 2 of Sunday Soul. And as we wrap up, and I need to go get some tissue because I can't stop crying. As we wrap up, I have a few housekeeping items. Okay, the first one is, I love props, by the way. We're going to have a ton of props. The first one is Nick Saban. Just reported today that he was diagnosed. The first test that he got earlier this year was a false positive for COVID. It was just reported that he actually does have a positive COVID and has symptoms this year. So being a sportscaster for 17 years, I would love for you to, whatever it is you do, you pray, positive thoughts, whatever it is, send one up for Nick Saban because he needs those, and everybody that is struggling and battling with COVID this season. All right. The second thing I want to do is I want to tell you, and my lead creative, Emma's going to love this. We have got some really fun things coming. I love props. I love joy. I love making people happy. My gift, one of my gifts as a human being was being made an encourager. And so you don't even know what's coming, but it's coming and it's fun and we're going to make some people's day, but it involves this. So that's my second prop. All right. And thirdly, I'm drinking out of this coffee cup and it says the Myrtles Plantation, which is this awesome plantation that's reportedly haunted. Ooh, I would not stay there at night. And it's in Louisiana. So the other thing that I think keeps me going right now is planning trips, is getting excited for when we get out of this and we can travel again. And so I would say, as just a coping mechanism on an everyday basis, get things around you that make you happy. If it's your favorite sweater from Oregon, or it's your favorite mug from the Myrtles Plantation, or it's an amazing picture, or whatever it is, get it around you. Like, use it, wear it, look at it, burn the candle, wear the pretty things. The time is now. Every day is a miracle. So even just drinking out of this cup from the Myrtles Plantation this morning, like, makes me excited to go back to Louisiana, makes me excited to travel. So if you've got things around you that you love that came from beautiful places, use them, appreciate them. And speaking of that, I know Emma is going to be able to put this on the screen, but in 2022, Easter of 2022, I am so blessed and so honored. I'm taking a trip with an amazing group of people to Israel. And we are going to be in Israel in Easter of 2022. Sting, it is Daryl Strawberry, Ray Lewis, Michael Tate, a number of amazing people, and you. And right now, we'll drop the link. Right now, it is buy one, get one half off. Buy one, get one half off. They do not know how long that's going to last. Everybody around the world is doing great deals because of where we are in the world. So if you can, go ahead and plan trips out or put a small deposit down. If you have that ability, do it. If not, go ahead and just bookmark it for when you can. I would love to go to Israel with you. I've been before and it totally changed and rocked my world. So I want to go to Israel with you 2022, Easter. We'll drop the link. Let's go walk the Holy Land together. And next to last is this awesome I'm Changing the Narrative poster. Purpose, passion, platform, be a king, be a queen. It's not a hashtag, it's a movement. One of the things we have wanted to do here at I'm Changing the Narrative is be more interactive with you and give you more things and love on you more. So what we want you to do is in the comments, or you can send it to me via DM, Instagram, via the website, IamChangingTheNarrative.org, whatever way you can get it to me. I want to hear your best stories of gratitude this year. It might involve you. It might involve the homeless man down the street. It might involve a neighbor. I don't care. Just tell me your best stories of gratitude. And so we are going to read those, and then we're going to give away 2 of these. Okay. All right. So I need you to get me these as this episode drops and as you see the social media for it. And lastly, before we go out, I've started doing something here in season 2 where I tell you a little bit about some products that I use or things that I love that make my day. And this week I want to tell you, and I mentioned it last week with Robert Randolph, but it's called Jamaican Sea Moss. Jamaican Sea Moss. And this one's Lucia Wellness. I've used a couple of different versions. I'm not getting paid. I'm not sponsored by them. I'm just giving you some goodness. I start every day with it. Jamaican Sea Moss. It is a gel. It's tasteless. It's got a ton of vitamins and minerals and balances the body. It helps with digestion and your skin and your energy. And it's awesome. I will link it below so that you can get your hands on it too and add it to your regimen as well. So this is something that makes my life a little bit better. And as always, this Sunday Soul is designed for you to be thoughtful going into your week, this week after Thanksgiving. Maybe you got the stretchy pants and you had to stretch them out a little bit because you ate all the hash brown casserole. So I want you to think about this week what you are focused on and how you take care of yourself. And the biggest thing you can do for me and yourself this week is think about, what do you do for self-care? What do you do for self-care? Be mindful about it, write it down, and I want you to practice it this week. I love you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hope you had a fantastic Thanksgiving, and we will be back next week with some dancing. That's all I can tell you, but I can tell you there'll be some dancing next week, and it'll make you smile. Love you guys. Hey, Rachel Baribeau here. If you love this video, please subscribe. You can also hit that little bell down there, and that will let you know every single time we go live. And one better, leave us a comment. And the ultimate, share it with a friend, because that's the power of social media. That's the power of good news. It travels fast. I love you guys. Thank you so much. See you next time.